Hello, good morning, afternoon, in this part of America. So I was thinking the other day, you see a lot of these videos on YouTube about just rude customers, you know. I was watching one the other day, just these unhinged human beings from all over the world, but let's be honest, most of the people in these clips were Americans. I'm not saying that you don't have rudeness in other parts of the world. You do. I've been to those parts. But no, my point with this video is to say that we train people how to treat us. Think about that. Any kind of police interactions, you're training the cops, the police, how to respond to you. Whether you're rude, whether you're polite and cordial. It's your mannerisms, it's your action that train people that are supposed to serve you, whether it's in public safety or just good old customer service or food industry. So I had made a video a few days or a week or so ago about poor customer service in America. You know, you pay a lot of money for stuff and you don't get a good return, a good investment. And I was thinking about this watching those videos, and I wanted to make this one in regard to this matter. I think part of that is because of the way that the public is. The public sucks. We train people how to treat us. And when the people are, and I don't have numbers, I don't have percentages, but when we act in a juvenile, childish, idiotic manner, customer service folks, people in that industry, whatever specific industry it is, they are going to respond in kind. They're human too. And so I don't understand this idea of, everyone, and I was complaining of customer service too, but we need to get a grip on things. Understand that it starts at home. It starts with your temperament, it starts with your manner. And what you take from your home and you carry into the public sphere is important. And so maybe, just maybe, the reason why customer service is so horrible is because the public and the people are, quite frankly, horrible human beings. Now that's to say nothing of poor quality of, say, goods, products, etc. I'm speaking about specifically customer service. And I've worked in customer service, and not everybody, I'm not painting with the broad brush here, not everybody is a raging, unhinged lunatic, but not everybody is courteous and professional and had a civics education. You see the Canadian geese over there on the lakeside with it's about 10 little goslings, baby geese. And so, customer service, why does it suck? And I mean, sometimes it works on both ends. I mean, you can be as courteous and polite, and the worker is just having a bad day, and they're going to take it out on you, the next customer. That's also a possibility of what happens. But I'm saying, you're standing for 8 hours, 9-hour, 10-hour shift, and you're dealing with just cantankerous, rude, irate customers, or just customers that are just indifferent. They don't care. Politeness is a thing of the past, it seems. And you see this a lot in, of course, fast food and in airports, ticket counters at airlines. The unhinged and the entitled They populate airport terminals. And traveling internationally, I hadn't seen it as much as I had in American airports. But the public, yeah, what good are they? I don't know. There's not a whole lot. You have no values, no principles to speak of that have any real solid foundation, no meaning. It's all about me, myself, and I, what I can get, and to heck with the next person in line. And that's where we're at. We've been there for quite some time. It's going to take an overhaul as far as reaching the young generation. Because honestly, since the baby boomers, we're about 5 generations deep into this right now. That's something that's hard to assail and go against. You can't necessarily do it with just so-called good education. They need morals, they need values, proper teaching and instruction, which happens in an unbroken home. It can happen in a broken home, and has. But what kind of a message are you imparting when you live in a broken home, you're raising a child in a broken home, and you're trying to raise them functionally? I'm sorry, it just doesn't work. Most of the time it doesn't. That's why 2 parents are important. That's why you're supposed to be an adult, work out differences, disagreements, come to resolutions. And so, I'm a big picture guy, and I see these as symptoms of a greater problem, a greater societal problem. It's not just a few unhinged lunatics at the airport or McDonald's or at a rental car desk or making a hotel booking that are going off. I mean, it's a deep systemic problem with people that don't know how to deal with no. They don't know how to be patient. They don't know how to deal with difference and disagreement. These are the hallmarks of a juvenile population. This is how teenagers respond. This is how pre-adolescents respond between the ages of, 3 and 18 or 19. And this is why I have no hope, really, because you have 70, 80-year-old people, the baby boomers. As I said, we're 5 generations deep in this, who act this way. Something you should have grown out of, once you put on big boy, big girl pants and walked yourself to school. But we haven't. And it's the entitlement. It runs so deep in America, and it's in many places. I've been to third world countries. I've lived in third world countries, and people, I don't see, obviously the entitlement there, I do not see, unless you have an affluent population that's huddled within there sometimes. But it's nowhere near the scale of things in America. And unless that attitude changes, principles and values become the order of the day, morals, it's only going to get worse. There's not even a question of that. And it's sickening. But yeah, go on YouTube. Don't watch my videos. I'm not important. But I'm just a lone voice crying in the wilderness. John the Baptist, right? A la John the Baptist. Seeing these videos of these people and the melee that ensues, and I would like to think that it's not normal, that these are aberrations from the normal behavior. But even the person that doesn't cause chaos at the ticket counter or the fast food cashier's desk in the front there, just the amount of ingratitude, the indifference, and the unsympathetic character of most human beings today in the modern world, from baby boomers all the way down to Gen Z. It's just amazing to me. I haven't surveyed the entire populace. I can't do that. All I know is what I see, what I've experienced. And what I know is this kind of turning that can be checked, but without the proper mechanisms in place that allow for such a break, B-R-A-K-E, break, a collapse, societal ruin, which takes effort, hard work. Now, I mentioned this in previous videos. Unless that break is applied, there will be ruin, regardless. And I don't know, it's just not worth saving. Anyway, that's really all I had on that topic. But, you know, think about it the next time you're getting angry at the agent or worker who's trying to assist you and help you, you know. Maybe you can make their day a little better. I've tried to do that. Try to add a little bit of humor. Not everybody responds the same way, but because dealing with a ill-tempered, entitled, for the most part, degenerate public 5 or 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week for 8, 9, 10 hours a day can really turn a person cold, callous, and indifferent. I said at the beginning of the video, we train people how to treat us. So my solution to the whole thing is, you want good customer service? Generally, it's not going to be a universal fix for every person who works in that industry. Just treat them with decency and respect, with courtesy, same that you would want. I mean, the reason the golden rule is called the golden rule, and it applies traditionally throughout the ages, is because it is a truth. You know, treat others the way you would wish to be treated. And that's something I'm speaking to myself as well. When I say these things, I'm looking in the mirror and pointing the finger at me as well. And also another reference from the New Testament. Jesus said that John the Baptist stated that I must decrease so that he, Jesus, must increase. So diminish yourself, let go of ego and pride, and perhaps let others increase. I get it. We're living in very, very hard times. The rising cost of everything. Wages aren't increasing. It's hard to live. I wouldn't let it consume you. So don't let it consume you. Don't get into that vicious cycle. For one, I refuse to. You know, I refuse to have people rope me into their nonsensical debates and positions. And at the same time, I'm only here for a short period of time. I'm not going to let this world beat me down. It's not what it's about. Yes, you have to make a living. Yes, you have to, at times, struggle. Struggle seems to be the rule, as opposed to an anomaly. But at the same time, I think a good maxim to live by in life is to state that learn as much as you can about this world, about nature, about the universe, about God. Do what you can to help others if you have the ability and the means. Be true to yourself. Try not to take too much of what other people say as far as criticism, but do take some of it. You get this attitude from some people where they say, I don't care what anybody thinks. Do you see that's part of the problem? You need to care what some people think, but not so much to where they rob you of free will and decision making, things of that nature. But when we live in a world where people don't really care what anybody thinks, that's just anybody and all people doing whatever they want. They're the arbiter of truth. And that's no way to be in a society, since we're supposed to be coherent together. So that's all. The lakeside over there.